Right then, the Ruben Amorim era is about to get underway. This is it. First game. It's right here. Tomorrow, at least, anyway. And the return to the Premier League action is on this weekend. No more international break for like 3 months. If that's not a result on its own, I don't know what is. So, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Especially with everything that's gone on. It's felt like the longest international break ever. But we finally get to see our new manager in the dugout when United travel down to Ipswich on Sunday, which is not the easiest game you could have picked for a new gaffer, is it? Amorim's been putting the lads through their paces. The ones who didn't go on international duty, obviously, they've had a little bit longer with him as well at the training ground. But it's going to be fascinating to see what sort of impact that's been able to have in that short amount of time and how United are going to actually shape up. There's so many decisions that he needs to make. And despite the dreadful season that we've had, we're actually entering or coming out of an international break in pretty good form. Ruud van Nistelrooy went unbeaten. Probably could have won them all as well, really. We were pretty close to just not quite getting over the line. Ipswich are also up and running down the Premier League after beating Tottenham 2-1. And obviously, Kieran McKenna would probably love to get one over on Manchester United and put his own credentials forward as well after he was interviewed for, we presume, the manager's job in the summer. It could have been for Ruud van Nistelrooy's job. We don't know. But here's everything you need to know about this game this weekend. So McKenna seems like he's settled into the 4-2-3-1. It's a formation that allows for a lot of different variations. He's a big fan of the 3-2-5 in possession. Occasionally that looks like a 3-4-2-1, which is a little bit different in terms of the deployment of the wingers and the wide forwards. One of the central defenders does like to step into midfield, and one of the fullbacks, especially Leif Davies, do like to push high. Out of possession, he does like to go 4-1, 4-4-1-1 or 4-2-3-1 sometimes, rather than the 4-4-2 that you see a lot of teams revert to when they're looking at trying to deny space to the opposition. They seem to engage in quite an aggressive press out of possession in both general play and from goal kicks. And they do focus on building out from the back with precise ball movements, rotations, rather than like going long. They use the centre halves and they use the double pivot to try and move the ball into that middle third and then get over the halfway line. The fullbacks, and like I said, particularly Davis, will be an integral part of the attack. He's the one that gets the license to push on. And that's going to be with the idea of him providing width, crosses, and cutbacks, interestingly, into dangerous areas. Wingers do tend to cut inside for him. They look to create overloads in that central area. And McKenna does insist on possession, not for possession's sake, but to control the game, to create superiority in attack, to create chances, and attack with some conviction when they find openings. And you can say that a hallmark of this team has been that sort of relentless approach in both attack and defence. The aim is to force the issue to the opposition. They're not really passive in anything that they do. They're always kind of active, whether it's through pressing high or quickly transitioning into attack when they win the ball back. They're going to be quite relentless and quite busy when we play them. He really seems to encourage players to express themselves as well within that sort of structured framework. He does seem to give a lot of creative freedom to the likes of Chaplin and Hutchison when it comes to their attacking roles. And he's not rigid either. You see them adapting to the strengths of both the squad and the opposition as well. So adaptability has been crucial, well, certainly in the promotion campaigns, but also I think for how they're going to do this season. From defence to attack, they're going to look to exploit space, and they're going to look to exploit any weaknesses or laziness in particular from the opposition. Starman, I think Liam Delap, 6 goals in 11 Premier League games. He is tall, he is stocky, he is quick. He has got very, very good balance. The rate at which opponents bounce off him just shows, the core strength that he's got. He moves the ball like, few others really at the top of the game, and he's excelling as one of the best Premier League ball carriers in his first season playing regularly in the top flight. He's also a very good striker of the ball, off both feet, I think it must be said as well. So he's a big danger man for sure. In terms of United, one player I'm expecting to really shine under Ruben Amorim is Amad Diallo. He's rounding himself into some fantastic form. He's showing off loads of ability, loads of traits that are going to make him quite unique in the squad. And I think the arrival of Amorim and the sort of redeployment of his position, I think it'd be fair to say, that I think could get the best out of him. He looks after the ball so well. His pass completion is fantastic. His dribbling is fantastic. And I think against an energetic bunch like Ipswich, the work rate that he delivers will be absolutely vital. Ipswich are going to be in the bottom half of the Premier League this season, and they do have players that have, promoted through multiple leagues for them. So they're not an established Premier League side without established Premier League players, certainly all the way throughout the squad as well. They've got players who you can press and get the ball off. Amad Diallo, I see him pressing, winning the ball nice and high and getting himself shots off. He's also going to be responsible for giving Leif Davies something to think about defensively. And I think that could be a real key battle in the game. In terms of United starting 11, I think the most obvious thing to say in terms of what's going to happen here is there'll be surprises, and I'll probably get this wrong. I'm going off what I think has trained, what I think might understand the system, and what might fit the system. So I think we go with the 3-4-3. I don't think it was a ruse. I think he's actually going to go with a 3-4-3, and I think Martinez, Evans centrally, and De Ligt. Now, that's not really ideal, I don't think. But I don't really see any other way that this is going to shape up. Johnny Evans might be better on the left side. I think De Ligt's better in the centre. But then what we're going to do on the right-hand side, Mazraoui? It's not Yoro yet, I don't think. I think Yoro's at least a couple of weeks off still yet. So I think De Ligt, Evans and Martinez are probably your three fittest and informed defenders. I think they play for that reason, but I don't know who plays where. I don't know what the best way to get the best out of those three is. Hopefully the gaffer does. I think Mazraoui and Dalot have to play. So I think it'll be Dalot on the left, but it wouldn't be surprising if it was Mazraoui on the left. I've gone with Mazraoui on the right and Dalot on the left. That could be the opposite way around. Casemiro and Ugarte make the most sense in midfield as a midfield two, with Bruno and Amad in behind Højlund. I think that's the best way that United are going to shape up in this game. But I could be completely wrong. How do you beat these then? Score early. Take the crowd out of it. The crowd are probably quite accepting of losing. It's in that sort of happy to be here kind of vibe in your first season back in the Premier League after a while. They have conceded the highest expected goals against in the league, so they do give chances away, and also they give big chances away as well. Can United capitalise on that? Can they capitalise on Ipswich being a little bit gung-ho initially at the start of games? If you can, you're going to make the game a lot more comfortable. Secondly, make the quality show. United have got a lot more talent and a lot more ability in the team. It's on us to show that we can control the game and take the sting out of Ipswich, who will physically compete, but can they compete on quality if United keep the ball and recycle it really well? There's some brilliant ball carriers in that team. The likes of Mazraoui and Amad, intelligent. That's what United need to play with, a little bit of game intelligence. If we do that, I think we're going to be all right. Anyway, that's it from me. Go check out Hollywood Bets. I'll catch you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.